question about Aaron Glenn. During these last 4 weeks, as the blowouts have kind of mounted here, how would you describe his demeanor? I mean, through this 4-week stretch?
Yeah, I think part of the reason why I believe in him so much and love coming to work for him is that his message doesn't change, and not in a corny way, but in a genuine way. He truly cares about this team. You can see every day how much time and love he puts into us, and I go to war for him. He's my head coach, and I appreciate the message he sends to us, even with these games not ending up how we want. And the last thing you want is for somebody to give you a message on what he wants from us and how he expects us to play, and if things don't work out, that he just immediately switches up that what he believes. So he's been the same. He's been working. He's been telling us how much he really truly cares and how much we need to get back to work. And like I said, he's our guy, and I appreciate him for that.
Jeremy, you talked a lot about brand of football that he wants you guys to play. What is that brand, and why is it so? Like, he mentioned the game maybe 3 games ago where he saw it. So it's not very consistent. Why isn't it that consistent?
I think you could look at a bunch of reasons why it might not, be where we want yet. But for him, I think the most important thing is that you play the game a certain way, and as we start to correct the things that to get us off track, we want to be able to be a team that is respected by others, and we play it a certain way with toughness and execution and discipline. I think that's the thing that we need to keep fine-tuning, but the brand that he wants to play is what we believe in, and we're working towards, and like I said, the results may not be what we want, but we're not going to waver from it. Everybody who wants to be here is going to buy into that, and there's snippets of it here and there. We just need to keep working on being more consistent and keep working towards that every day.
Ruck, sometimes you're lining up next to Mambu. What have you thought of him his rookie year, and do you appreciate the fire and passion that he plays with?
Yeah, I mean, like I was just talking about, the game's meant to be played a certain way, and I think he does it the right way. Every play he goes out there trying to dominate, and like you said, playing next to him is fun. I have fun out there, and he plays with a certain style that you want to be a part of, and you want him on your team. So I think he's come into this league and done some great things this year, and as we keep working towards getting better, I think he's a piece that we're really going to rely on, and it's fun to be a part of.
He was telling us, he showed you guys some tape, I think it was the Jacksonville game, of kind of how you executed a situation that run the ball and just kind of getting back to that brand of football. What do you think you guys kind of slipped in the last few weeks from that brand of football?
Man, yeah. I don't know if I could pinpoint exactly what it is, but I know we've been starting slow, and it's been killing us. And yeah, we just gotta keep working to get back to being able to run the ball like that.
How do you think Brady has handled himself, considering this is his first time out there basically the last few weeks?
Yeah, I've been super impressed with how Brady's handled himself. He's a professional. He prepares like a professional. He carries himself that way, and I have a ton of respect for him.
How do you guys regroup after yesterday, Josh?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me personally, at least, it goes back to AG just kind of talking about how we need buy-in and stay-in. So I'm going to stay in. I'm going to prepare as hard as I can, like it's a playoff game, and do everything I can, and have faith that everyone else will as well.
Can you speak about Mambu's competitive nature, and also what are your thoughts about his potential in this league?
Yeah, obviously a very competitive guy. His potential, really, the sky's the limit. He's got everything he needs to be great, truly. He's got the strength, the athleticism, the smarts. He's got everything he needs, and he's going to be a really good football player and definitely a cornerstone of this organization.
When you were
Josh,
with Green Bay, Josh, I think you were in the playoffs like two or three times, and even the 1 year you didn't make it, it was, I think, an 8-9 record, so you were in it kind of to the end. So this is a unique situation for you, being in. What's it been like for you as a competitor to go through a month like this?
It's been hard. It's been really hard. Again, it's something my dad always used to say to me, and I always fall back on it, and that's you just got to control what you can control and who you are every day. So that's what I've been doing, just trying to be the best version of myself when I show up here every day and prepare as hard as I can. So that's what we do.
Josh, you mentioned buy in and stay in, and as a player, at this point in the season when you guys are way out of it and coming off of losses like you are, as a player, do you kind of look around and see who are these who are the guys that are really buying in, staying in, and does that tell you something about who some of these guys are moving forward?
I don't think you have to look very hard. I think it's if you cut on the tape, that's pretty obvious. So yeah.
What's it like coming out of a game like that defensively when you give up, I think it was 6 straight touchdowns at the start?
Yeah, man, it's definitely frustrating. Something that you just never want to happen, in any game, and for that to be, our last game in front of our fans, and to put up that kind of performance, it's definitely frustrating.
Brandon, what did you see as the main issue during, when you went back and watched and everything? What stood out to you about what went wrong?
Yeah, just honestly, just numerous things, and our only job now is, we have one more game left. That's all we're promised, and so we just have to continue to. We just have to play better. It's plain and simple. There's no, magic potion or anything that we can take. We just have to, play better as players and show up when we need to show up.
Brandon, is it difficult right now as a secondary? You're the only guy left standing from the beginning of the season, of kind of what the secondary was supposed to look like for the Jets. And obviously the young guys are doing their best, but is it tough to go out there right now, just kind of with the makeup of the secondary the way it is?
Man, just anybody that, steps on the field, man, it doesn't matter who it is. We have a standard that is set, and, as a group, as a whole, as a team, we haven't lived up to that standard. So it's not about, who's on the back end, how much experience they have. It really doesn't matter. We have a game plan going into each week, and so we have to execute that.
Where have you seen the most growth from Malachi Moore, and what do you think his potential is?
Yeah, Malachi, he's been he's definitely put together a great couple games back to back. Obviously, this is his rookie year, so he's going to have a lot of growth, I'm sure, and he's critical of himself, but he's definitely made some key plays for us the past few weeks, especially last week, just forcing another turnover. But yeah.